Imagine steering a ship just 1 degree off course. Seems tiny, right? But over a long journey, you would end up in a completely different place. That's the power of simple daily habits. These are small, easy course corrections that if you do them consistently over time, next thing you know, you are making double what you've ever made before. I used to think there was a ceiling on my income, right at $70,000. I was stuck there for so many years. But here are the 21 degree shifts that I made that not only helped me double my income within 3 years, but eventually to scale it to 7 figures. So the first simple daily habit to double your income is to practice using AI. Obviously, this habit is a little bit new because ChatGPT was only around since last year. But the key concept here is we can only make more money by incorporating more leverage into our lives. Leverage is the concept of making massive output, increasing your output without increasing your input. So doing more in less time, less effort. That's really the secret to doubling your income. And AI gives you leverage in 2 ways. One is that it gives you access to better thinking. Before that, we would only have access to the ideas and the thinking of the people around us. But now we can access AI's brain power to access better ideas that will make us more money. The second way AI gives you leverage is that it frees up time so that you can go off and build other income streams. Just the other day, I was helping my mom create her resume because she wanted to transition from a career as a teacher to an esthetician, and she wants to make more money. So using ChatGPT, we just put in the job description at a luxury spa that she wanted to apply to. We put in her teacher resume, and then we asked ChatGPT to spin her resume to position herself for a job as an esthetician. And within 2 minutes, we had an amazing resume. We spent about another hour just tweaking it, and boom, we were done. So what used to take us 10 hours now only takes us 1 hour. So now you have 9 hours free to come up with other business ideas, to create passive income streams, or to work on your skills so that you can earn more at your job. So every day, whenever you find yourself doing anything, get in the habit of asking yourself, how could I use AI to do this faster and easier? The second simple daily habit is to work in 25-minute focused intervals. This is actually called the Pomodoro technique, where you work in 25-minute intervals followed by a 5-minute break, and then you repeat that cycle 4 times, and then you follow it by a longer 30-minute break. This idea came from an Italian guy named Francesco Torello while he was a university student. He realized that our brains, just like everything else in our bodies, works on a cycle. I use the Pomodoro technique every day. I really can't get things done unless I have my Pomodoro timer going. So I highly recommend it. And as they say, work expands to fill the time available for its completion. So when you have a 25-minute container to do a specific task, you're more likely to get it done in those 25 minutes. If there's one thing that all high earners have in common, it's that they all read a lot. Personally, I read at least 1 book every other week, and sometimes 1 book a week if I'm really on it. Now, if you're not a big reader, that is okay, because according to James Clear in his book Atomic Habits, the way to create new habits is by stacking it onto something that you already do every single day. This is called habit stacking. And when you combine this with audiobooks, you can easily start becoming a very big reader. Just think about one thing that you do every single day. Walking your dog, is it dishwashing? Is it commuting? We all do one of these things every single day. So pick that one thing. So commuting. The average commuting time in the US is 26 minutes a day. So round trip, that's 52 minutes. And then consider that the average audiobook is 10 to 12 hours. So within 10 days, you could finish 1 audiobook on your commute without actually carving out any extra time to do it. So audiobooks are great, especially if they can make you more money. Anything that teaches you more about sales and marketing, influence, building relationships, and productivity, those will help you increase your income. Some of my personal favorites are Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. We have Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This is such a classic. Influence by Robert Cialdini. And last but not least, .com Secrets by Russell Brunson. If you want to know more about what books I'm reading, my favorite things that week, and even more money-making ideas, you are going to love my newsletter, Call to Freedom. Every week, I share with you everything that I'm learning from building 9 different income streams and a multi-million-dollar investment portfolio. Think of it as your all-access pass to the behind the scenes of what it really takes to create financial freedom. This newsletter is completely free, so you can click the link below to sign up or just scan this QR code. You'll also get a free surprise gift when you join. Habit number 4 is brainstorm 5 new ways to make more money every single day. If you're one of those people that always say, I don't have enough money, I need more money coming into my bank account, then you definitely need to try this one. So sit down every day with a notepad, and this is not something you want to use AI for, because you want to train your brain to start seeing opportunities to make money. It's about building that muscle, because Actually, the truth is there are infinite ways to make money. There are literally a million ways to make $1 million right now sitting in front of you if only you had the muscle and ability to see it. So whenever you're outside, you're watching a movie, you're just sitting out and about in the world, see if you can identify problems that need to be solved, a need that isn't being met, and come up with some creative solution that if you offer that, the world would want to pay you for it. This is literally the formula to unlock as much money as you want. You can do it on a big scale like Sarah Blakely. She figured out that women wanted a way to look good under their clothes, so she came up with Spanx. This became a $1 billion business. And then you can even do it on a smaller scale. Like, for example, right now, I, for a fact, need someone to help me with meal prep. I spend so much time in the kitchen, but I need someone who could make organic, paleo-friendly, with no seed oils. I have a lot of different dietary restrictions. I need someone who could make me healthy meals. And I haven't found anything like that online because they use kind of gross ingredients. So even just right now, just riffing on this video, I've already come up with a business idea. So imagine how many more ideas you could come up with if you start doing this every single day. You're gonna like this next habit because a lot of the other habits we talked about are about doing stuff. This habit is actually about doing nothing. Take some time every single day to actually sit and just do nothing. Sometimes just constantly doing isn't going to produce more results. This is the concept of leverage that we talked about. Did you know that the brainwave state that is best for creativity is what you call the alpha brainwaves? That is a state of relaxed alertness. That's when you're just relaxed, you're not wired and doing things on the go. And this is the state of mind you need to be in for the best ideas to come to you. Some people call this flow state. So when you are stuck trying to come up with something, instead of trying to do more and to work harder to solve it, to sit back and do nothing. I'm really trying this out in my own life. I've been taking walks on the beach. Just take a walk. I don't even take my phone. I don't even listen to an audiobook. And it's amazing how many creative solutions have come to me that never would have come to me otherwise. The next simple daily habit to double your income is to practice using metaphors. I learned this from Robert Cialdini in his book Influence, where he talks about how when you use metaphors, it makes you relatable and it gives something concrete for people to wrap their heads around so that they can better understand you and better connect with you. And when people connect to you and relate to you, you can influence them. And when you can influence people, you make more money. For example, let's say you're trying to close a big deal. Instead of just saying, so here are the terms, what do you think? Should we shake on it? What if you tried a metaphor like this? Think of this deal like building a bridge between our two companies. You've got your foundation, I've created my foundation, and we have a general structure. Now all we need to do is connect the final pieces so we can create something that will benefit both sides for years to come. See how using that metaphor of a bridge makes it a lot easier for you to understand where I'm coming from and makes you more excited to agree with it. Next up, another simple daily habit to double your income is to wear either blue light blocking glasses or install blue light filters on your screens. Why? Because this will improve your sleep. Have you ever noticed how when you don't get a good night's sleep, you are not motivated to do anything the next day? So if you want to increase your performance and make more money, one of the easiest things you can start doing is to improve your sleep. Our bodies naturally follow the cycles of the sun, but because of modern technology and we can look at bright screens even late into the night, that really messes up our sleep cycles. The blue light from screens, phones, TVs, that actually suppresses melatonin, which is a hormone that we really need to get a good night's sleep. So all you have to do is to install an app like f.lux. It's completely free. Download it onto your laptop and it'll actually turn the light into a reddish orange light that is much easier on the eyes. You can also install something similar on your phone, or you can just wear these blue light blocking glasses after dinner time. And I'm telling you, when I wear these, I sleep like a baby. Steve Jobs once said, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in the future. Steve Jobs made Mac fonts pretty because he happened to take a calligraphy class in college. It was so random, but everything he learned from that class directly translated into one of the reasons why Apple became so successful. So if you want to double your income, this sounds counterintuitive, but go ahead and engage in an activity that you're randomly curious about that doesn't have anything to do with necessarily making money straight from that. Whether it's gardening, surfing, knitting, or astrology, go for it because you never know how the dots are going to connect. So for me, this is now almost over 10 years ago, but I had this really, really keen interest in pole dancing. I took a random class one day and was completely hooked. And even though I did not see any path to monetizing this in any meaningful way going forwards, I decided to throw myself in wholeheartedly. I signed up for competitions. I went to classes 3 to 4 times a week. And you know what? The confidence that I gained from getting better at something, from training training to even participating in competitions and doing something that I was scared of, like getting on stage in front of people to perform. These are all things that directly contributed to my ability to make it rain today. So remember, you can't connect the dots looking forwards. You can only connect the dots when you're looking backwards. Another simple daily habit that you can try is to delegate or systematize one little thing every single day. We wake up with a limited amount of brain power, and every time you have to make a decision or just think about how to do something, you actually suck up precious brain power, and then by the end of the day, you have nothing left to work on your side hustle or whatever you are building after you come home from your full-time job. So the key here is to be wise with your energy, to conserve it. If there's anything that you do on a daily or even weekly basis, find a way to automate it. So for example, I am the queen of grocery delivery. Whether it's my weekly Instacart grocery run or my monthly Costco run, I now do all of that on an app from the comfort of my couch. And because I pretty much eat the same things all the time, I just reorder things that I ordered from the last order. So that's mostly automated, has saved up so much time and energy. Something else that I love to automate is I put everything on Amazon subscription. Whether it's toothpaste, pet food, toilet paper, electrolytes, my favorite snacks. If I know I'll be ordering it again, I just go ahead and set it up on a 1 month or a 2 month recurring schedule. And then before the first of every month, I just go and make sure if there's anything I need to pause or cancel. Just already having it on autopilot saves me the decision fatigue of seeing something running low and worrying about having to add it to my list because it's already ordered. Another thing is what I like to call follow-up Fridays. So this is actually a simple weekly habit, not a daily one, but I found that weekly is enough. Every Friday, I carve out 1 hour to follow up with people and to warm up and build my network. I keep a spreadsheet of all the people that I'm building relationships with. This is going along with the idea of systematizing things. When I last talked to them, what's going on in their lives, any important facts I should know about them, and when I should follow up with them next. And just for 1 hour every single Friday, I just ping everyone in my network to say hello, check up on them, ask them a question, send them an article, just to kind of stay in front of them and keep the relationship warm. This could also just be as simple as going to their Instagram or LinkedIn page and liking one of their posts and leaving a comment. Just consider that one single connection can completely change your life. Whether it's access to an idea or another person who could connect you to a job or a business opportunity, someone who could inspire you or make a key introduction. It's all about who you know. This is another way to incorporate leverage in your life. Rather than trying to do everything yourself, you can get more things done the more people you have around you. Building your network isn't something that has to take a ton of work. It's something you can do little by little. I like to do my follow-up Fridays, and I encourage you to do something similar for yourself too. It's a fact that if you ever had to sit down and talk about everything that you accomplished in the last year, you would probably draw a blank. So imagine how hard it would be to sit down at a salary negotiation and justify why you deserve a raise. This is why another simple daily habit that you could use is to start what I like to call a why I'm awesome file. This could just be a Google Doc in your computer, or it could be on the Notes app on your phone. And this is where you just document, whether it's screenshots or bullet points, of everything that makes you awesome. Professionally, this could be achievements that you made at work, whether you increased revenue by X% within 3 months with so-and-so project, or you generated 300 new leads for your company that resulted in closing 2 big clients. Whatever those results are, make sure you keep a running record of every little detail. That way, later on in a year, you can look back at all of your accomplishments, and not only will this help you see that, hell yeah, I deserve a raise, but it'll also give you concrete data to show your manager when it comes down to negotiate that raise. Data is power, but you are the one who's going to have to be gathering it because no one else is responsible for your self-promotion. If you want to make more money, that's your job. Whenever I come back from a conference or a networking event, I always particularly remember people who used my name, people who remembered my name. So this next daily habit is to get in the habit of using people's names very often in conversation. This is actually advice from Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. To quote Carnegie, remember that a person's name to that person is the sweetest and most important sound in any language. When you use people's names in conversation, it makes them feel important. It makes them feel special, and it creates a very nice connection. For example, when you're talking to someone, you could say, "Oh, that's so funny." Or you could say, "That's so funny, Rose." Much more personal, right? So that's something fun you can start trying out. Whenever someone introduces themselves to you, immediately repeat their name back to them. "Nice to meet you, Rose." "So Rose, how are you?" "So Rose, where are you from?" It might sound a little bit contrived at first, but guaranteed the other person is gonna love it. Next up, use voice notes instead of typing. Did you know that you can speak over 150 words per minute, whereas with typing, you can only type 40 words per minute? When you use voice notes, you can capture ideas while doing other tasks without having to sit down and open up your laptop to write something. Because how many times have you been out and about, you thought of an amazing idea, and then when you came back to your desk, you had completely forgotten what it was? Well, with voice notes, you can actually just capture it and snatch it in the moment. And I also really love this one. If there's something big that I have to write, whether it's a blog post or an email, I'll actually just riff it out on a voice note, and then later I'll come home and I'll transcribe it. So boom, right there, in the time it took me to record a voice note, I've already written an entire email and 90% of the work is done. So if you're trying to build a side hustle or build a business, but you have a full-time job, these are all simple, really easy ways to create a lot using the margins of your time. Another simple daily habit to try out to double your income is before you sit down to start working on other people's priorities, whether it's your job's priorities, your boss's priorities, other people's priorities, sit down and carve out 30 minutes to build something that can make you money without you. We're talking passive income streams like researching dividend stocks, or starting up a new side hustle, or creating a piece of content that has affiliate links in it, building some sort of sales funnel to a product. Just 30 minutes at the beginning of your day using your best, freshest brain power to build something of your own so that you're not always going to be stuck in that cycle of always having to trade time for money to get paid by other people. This also sends a powerful signal to your consciousness that your time should be prioritized for you, something that will provide you more freedom later on rather than keeping you stuck in some sort of hamster wheel for the rest of your life. Another really easy thing you can do is to track your activity and identify the ones that are most impactful to your income and start only doing those things. So on one piece of paper, one side you can write everything that you did in the last year, all the activities that you do, whether it's at your job or in your business. And then on the other side of the paper, write down all of the major results that made the most impact for you, whether it's the bonus that you received, the launch that generated X amount of revenue, the results that you're most proud of in your life, and then draw the connection between the things that you did and the results that you created. And you will quickly see that probably only about 20% of the activities that you did created about 80% of the major results in your life. This is Pareto's principle. 20% of your efforts creates 80% of your results. So rather than continuing to do all the activities, why don't you just cut it all out and focus only on the 20%? Honestly, if you audit your time, you will see that you spend a lot of your time doing admin, low-value activities, things that really somebody else could potentially do for $5 an hour, $20 an hour, way more than what your time is worth per hour. And the more you can delegate or even eliminate those things and just do more of those 20% activities, the more money you are going to make. It's going to be an immediate effect. All right, habit number 16 is to keep protein snacks within reach. You would think that between doing all these money-making activities, that food would be an afterthought, but it's actually anything but. Our brains can't function without high-quality food. And especially protein stabilizes blood sugar, and when your blood sugar is stable, you have maximum cognitive functioning. Have you noticed that when you're hangry, you can't fucking think? When you are hungry, you are actually more likely to have a really negative outlook on life and be more risk averse. So I like to put snacks on my desk or just in the kitchen, which is only a few steps away from me. I recommend things like beef sticks or walnuts, something nutrient-dense, high protein, and nutritious. I'm sure some successful people get there by starving themselves and forgetting to eat, but most people who are at the top of their game for a really long time, they prioritize nourishing themselves. Another simple daily habit is to make important decisions between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Why? Because when you just wake up, you're not at your peak cognitive functioning yet, because they say it takes about 3 hours for your brain to hit like that peak cognitive level. And then of course at night, you're already kind of drained from the activities of the day and you're getting tired. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. is the top decision-making time when you're most likely to make the best decisions. So basically, if it costs money, it's going to take time, it's going to affect others or have any sort of long-term effect, make sure to schedule in time between 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. to actually make that decision. Next up, who knew that deep breathing could have such a big impact? When you breathe deeply, you calm your brain, which allows you to think better, more clearly. It reduces your blood sugar and cortisol levels and makes you perform better. So whether it's before a sales pitch, a presentation, maybe a public speaking event, or a salary negotiation, practice this deep breathing technique. You basically just close your eyes and completely empty the lungs of air. And then just quietly through the nose, breathe in for about 4 seconds. And then breathe out for about 7 seconds, doing it through your mouth and blowing it out. So do this about 4 times. And after that, you will noticeably feel calmer, and I guarantee your performance will be a lot higher as a result. Next up, try complete silence when you're working. I know a lot of people listen to music when they're working, and it can be quite enjoyable, but research shows that the brain actually needs silence to process complex information. So if the environment is noisy, consider using noise-canceling headphones, or just work in the quiet of your own home or in your own office. Now, if you must listen to music, then either try instrumental music without words or listen to music in a different language. Because if it's in a different language, that actually won't interfere as much with the processing of information with the work that you're doing. And all of this is assuming that the work you're doing is anything that requires deep thinking. If it's pretty mechanical work, you can go ahead and listen to music. But really, high income producing work is probably not going to be mechanical. It's going to require a higher level of thinking. So working in silence is definitely something you want to try and consider. Last but not least, use captions when watching YouTube. You can learn a ton watching YouTube videos and learn from the best and brightest in the world. And if you watch the video and put it on captions, then you will process information in two channels. One is visually by reading the captions and another by listening. This actually cements the information deeper in your brain because it's getting processed through two different channels versus just one. Studies show that coding information in this dual way increases retention. And in this day and age, it's all about information, who can think better and come up with better ideas. So the more you can process information and retain it, the bigger edge you have. So as you can see, with all of these simple daily habits, it's all about leverage. It's all about increasing your output, maximizing it without necessarily increasing your input. Because fact of the matter is, we all only have the same amount of hours in a day. And so if time has always been an excuse as to why you can't make more money, well then you're right, because time is a limitation. But these are all simple little daily habits that will really, really maximize your output even in the same amount of time that you have. Remember, it's about making 1-degree shifts. Even if you just pick a handful of simple daily habits to put into action from this video right now, in 1 year, you're going to be in a completely different place. And in 3 years, you will be completely unrecognizable. For more content like this, don't forget to sign up for my weekly newsletter, Call to Freedom. And that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!